G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part 5 of my beginner's Primal Strike Elementalist playthrough, where in between episodes I did a little bit of farming, which I will cover here in a second, but before I get into that, there's a few things I wanted to cover from the comments. In the comments over the last 2 episodes, firstly someone mentioned that I'm still using a cracked lodestone and that I should upgrade it to an amber. And that is absolutely correct. I should do that, so let's go ahead and do that. And the other comment was, again, I forget who it is, my apologies for that, but someone mentioned that the Kaiman's medal would actually be a decent shout here. And I definitely agree. It does have some minor lightning damage bonuses, which is, it's okay. But it also comes with chaos resistance as standard, and we are going into a chaos heavy section of the game, so that would be good to do. The other thing is we are level 35, which means we have access to some of the faction gear. Now, Devil's Crossing happens to have a really nice chest piece, that being the Devil's Chest Guard here. You can actually reroll the stats on this a couple of times if you wish. I believe that physical resistance goes up to 5%. Same with this helmet. Is it this one? This one. This one's pretty good. The elemental seal, when hit, is fairly decent. The only downside, of course, is that if I put this on, I will be losing resistances for a very minor gain in armor, and granted, the elemental seal proc is quite nice. And then you have the shoulders here, which are quite good for physical resistance as well. I'm not going to buy any of those, though. If you don't have one of the chest pieces that I'm about to show you, Devil's Chest Guard is really, really good. I highly recommend it. This is a 4% roll right now, but if we were to go to, for example, back to Homestead, and then find something to do for 10 seconds, so let's just maybe blast a few of these guys. Hit level 36, that'll keep me busy for 10 seconds. No problems. Let's go ahead and put 1 point in physique. And then I think we're leaving this at 11 and 10. So we can go back to Shaman and keep putting points into Raging Tempest. Alright, beautiful. That's been 10 seconds at least. So let's head back to Devil's Crossing. And now you'll notice when I talk to old Ellis here that it's got the same percent of physical resistance. But the pierce resistance is different. It's got different stats. You can re-roll this and just get one with 5% physical resistance. Although after the next patch goes through, physical resistance is getting a bit of a downgrade. It's not going to be quite as important, but it is still going to be good. So yeah, just grab one of these. It's good. The shoulders, again, if you don't have a good pair of shoulders, these are okay. Decent armor on them and physical resistance and 2 also useful resistances on them. So these are quite good. And the Devil's Cover, again, if you don't need your helmet for resistances, this one's good. Vitality Res is not exactly high value to me. I generally get most of my vitality resistances from components. But, you know, maybe you're a little bit short. I'm okay for now, so I'm going to leave that. Right. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to point out some of these. Now, this Fanatic's Overcoat I can actually use right now, and that Fanaticism proc is quite good. This also has total speed. It also has chaos resistance when we're coming into a heavy chaos resistance section of the game. Got a massive pile of health, got regen, all stuff that is really good. These chests here, none of these are particularly amazing. So aggressive of attack here is going to give us a bunch of offensive ability, which is quite nice. All of these will have the +3 to Oak Skin. All of these will have Pierce and Chaos Resistance, and all of them will have the percent increase to armor. The percent increase to armor goes up to 8%, so this one here has the most armor on it. This one here is going to have the most offensive ability on it. Also conveniently got, I think 6% is the minimum roll on the armor percent. looks like ordered is going to be the chaos resistance from memory. So we could use that. But these ones here with the rare prefix, devastating is not very good because it's the physical and fire damage stuff. So you could use it, but it's not great. And then Tormented Souls is vitality and aether damage, so that one's kind of not very good either. I'm actually going to use none of these. I'm going to stick with the Fanatic's Overcoat. So we'll chuck that on. It's absolutely hideous, but I'm going to use it anyway. And then I was looking at these shoulders, and honestly, the 6% increased armor value is kind of nice, but there's literally nothing else on these that I want. And my current shoulders do increase chaos resistance by 30%. So I want to actually get another pair of those. So we're going to go farming here in a second. But the first thing I want to do is swap in these rings. I suppose I should show what they actually are. So I've got Ramfrost, which is completely worthless. But of Alacrity is pretty good. Of Alacrity being the attack speed there. The Goddess's Ring giving extra regen stuff, as well as +3 to Mogdrogan's Pact and +3 to Vindictive Flame. So with just 1 point here, we've got 8 extra skill points in it, and we're getting a ton of flat health regeneration, some flat energy regeneration, and a heap of physical damage, a lot of which is being converted to lightning. What are we up to? 65% conversion just on the weapon. So that's pretty good. And then the other ring is Glacial, again, completely worthless. Of Mending, which is more regeneration stuff. So our regen right now, 900 a second, so it takes us about 6 seconds to get from completely empty to full. Now what I could do is put these corpse dust components back on, which would give us even more regeneration. However, I have this really big hole in my vitality resistance, and we can actually fix that with these bad boys right here, soul shards. This will also help with energy, so I'm going to do that. And then we can sell the rest of these. I am going to hang on to... this is a hard one. I think I'm going to hang on to those ones. Sell these. We need to melt that for my component back. And the rest of this can be sold. These boots also are looking pretty juicy. The Battle Cry proc is quite nice. Do we have it? I've also got it on the gloves here. Alright, so that's pretty much going to be active. Well, not all of the time, but a lot. They'll probably overlap a decent amount. Okay, so I want to keep my add-on here. I'm going to chuck that onto my new shiny fancy chest. I'm going to keep these add-ons as well. And we're good to go. Now, the other rings here, I was hoping for a Harmonious Goddess Ring of Alacrity, which is honestly the dream. I've got actually a really good couple of pet rings here. Subjugators of the Wild is pretty decent, and Wanderers of the Eagle is also pretty good. But we're not playing pets, unfortunately, so I'm just going to go ahead and vendor those. These boots don't have movement speed. Don't really need the Aether resistance right now, but it would be nice to have later. I'm not going to use those, so I'm going to sell them. Same with these shoulders and all this other stuff as well. And now that we're almost 10 minutes into the video, let's double check we haven't missed any devotions. We have not. I'm going to go for a quick run through Cronley's Lair. And we are targeting very specific things here. These guys right here. The Arsonists have got to go. They are the only things in this game that can drop the incendiary shoulders. So you want to look for anyone whose head's on fire or whose shoulders are on fire, but all the people whose name is Arsonist are the ones you want to kill, and the rest of them straight up don't matter. If you can get a helmet, I don't think that the helmet is actually particularly useful. but I think it has a bonus to flame touched or temper, I think it is. But one of those. Unfortunately, I think we've missed out on the majority of the fire dudes. So the next thing to do is to actually... Martin's Crest of Squalls. Okay. This is actually a pretty good change. So we don't have thermite mines yet, so I guess it's not really amazing. And the Squall proc is twice as effective, so I am actually going to take that. I will swap this out later, because I'm planning on buying another one from a shop not too far in front of where we're up to. I'm going to poke my head outside here and just do a quick run around, and I'll see if I can find a decent pair of shoulders. If I can't, not the end of the world, we'll just move on. So over here, there's usually one arsonist. There's occasionally a couple more over here, but just run around. I don't... You know what? I was going to let you live, but then you went and did that. So now you get to die. Herald's Ward, amulet. I'll have a look at that in a second. I'm looking specifically again for the arsonists, and I don't care about anybody else. So we can run straight past all that. There's usually a couple up this way. Looks like nobody's home today. So I may be going on empty-shouldered, empty-handed, but we will see. It's not looking great though, is it? There's an arsonist. He's dead. Really pushing out the lightning damage. Unfortunately, getting lots of helmets, but no shoulders. The other thing I could do is I could head back to Devil's Crossing and pick up a bounty for certain of Cronley's gang, which are also able to drop these. Does look like I'm kind of out of luck here. I'll just check one more little section, then we'll move on. It's not the end of the world if I can't use these shoulders. What I really like about them is the high amount of chaos res on them. It's looking like a no. I don't really want to mess with those guys right now. Oh, he's coming anyway. You know what? I'm just going to walk away. He doesn't have what I want, so there's literally no point fighting him. And yeah, one quick run through here and we'll call it done. So, again, looking for the flaming helmets. Specifically, I want the shoulders, but if all I can see is a helmet, then he's not going to have the shoulders. There we go. Shrewd is going to be cunning, and Ulzwin's Flame is going to be fire retaliation. Hopefully that's the level 32 base instead of the lower level version. Level 30. It's actually the same base. So we'd be losing a little bit of... Yeah, no, I'm not even going to pick that up. Actually, I will pick it up, but I'm going to sell it. Alright, there's a couple more chances up here, but I think we're probably out of luck. Just a helmet. 2 more helmets only. You can tell when they're going to have the shoulders because they'll be wearing them. Yeah. Yep. We're out of luck. Okay, that's fine. We'll just move on without. It's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, the other thing I wanted to clean up, let's actually go do the metal swap first. So we'll go ahead and keep the add-on here. If I chuck that on, how's my resistances? Fire and lightning is a bit low, bleeding's a bit low. Alright, we're going to use the wardstone here. I really wish this was a higher level item, but anyway, it's not. It isn't, so... This has got chaos resistance on it. It would uncap my poison resistance, but this is more armor. It has some electrocute and elemental damage on it. It's got chaos resistance, and it's got another insight proc, which is really nice. Yes, I will make that trade. Do I even want the Silk Swatch, though? For 2 and 3% resistances, I think I want another Scaled Hide instead. And I'm also going to make a couple of anti-venom salves. I've got an empty helmet and an empty pair of boots here. So let's fix that poison resistance. And then I want a Scaled Hide as well. There we go. Lovely. Armor rating up to 98%. Pretty good. Resistances are all very much under control. Do I want to swap any of these helmets? Chaos resistance, Chaos Bleed, and Vitality. Let's try to Fire Strike. I'm not actually using Fire Strike, so no, I don't. This is an amulet with actually pretty good stuff on it. Total speed, really nice. I think if I can get that whole set, I'm probably not going to use it anyway. So yeah, I'll just sell it. And the Cerulean Shard here, again, quite good. We are coming up on Zarya, though. So I'm kind of expecting to not use this. We'll definitely be at Zarya before level 50, or before level 40, so that's a definite no. And do we need this one now? Need it? No. Going to use it? Probably. Alright. So, we've picked up a ton of extra points in Vindictive Flame. Now, what I could do here is I could go and take 6 points out of Vindictive Flame. That would put us back at 11, which is kind of where the total speed stops scaling. But we would lose a bunch of health regeneration. In exchange, we would be able to cap Raging Tempest, maybe start putting a few points into the rest of the bar, perhaps. Or we could keep working up Demolitionist in order to get Blast Shield or Thermite Mines. I think for now I'm just going to leave it. Health regeneration's up to 800 a second, which is pretty good. So I think I'll just leave that. And what do we got? Broken Hills. I have to go and turn in the attribute point quest here with Minerva, is it? Yeah, it's Minerva. Oh, and I need to get a bank as well. Okay, there's my attribute. That's going straight into Physique, and we're going back to Devil's Crossing to get a movement rune for my medal. And then after that, promise, we'll actually go kill some stuff. Alright, we may as well chuck all this in there as well. There we go. And let's chuck Rush on here. We do also have the Lightning Nova now, which is hideously expensive, actually. Okay, so we've got the quest for the mill. We've got the quest for the farmers. Let's see if there's any more quests to pick up in Homestead, but I think I got them all. You know what? Let's go do Old Guns. I don't do this very often because it's actually a little rippy for hardcore. But there is a devotion shrine out there, so why not? Generally speaking, I leave this until later on most of my playthroughs. And by later, I mean the end of normal. But let's go to it. Why not? So when you're coming through this section, it's important to know where you're going and where you're going to get off of the green glowing rubbish. Also, keep an eye on your health bar and make sure you have your finger hovering over the potion button. Oh, also, this ancient Aether Orb totem, feel free to not click on that. Just pretend it doesn't exist. That's quite dangerous, that one. But obviously also feel free to kill it if you want to. I'm not your dad, you do what you like. This explosion site here, that's the entry to Port Valbury, where there is actually another devotion shrine. So, you know what, let's go do it. Why not? Why not? This is incredibly dangerous, but hey, why not? Let's live a little, or, you know, die a little, depending on how you look at it. Okay, so we go straight into the Ethereal Rift here. And this puts us in Port Valbury. Now this place, there are two things that I'm kind of interested in, one of which I could take or leave. Prismatic of Protection is actually a good thing on the shoulders. Impervious of Thunder, I may want to look at. I guess there's technically three things in here I'm interested in. The first one is all the Aether Shards. There are so many crystals in here. A lot of them are traps, but most of them are not. The other thing to note as well, though, is don't come in here with less than, probably I'd say 50% Aether resistance. 60 is kind of okay, maybe borderline. But you're going to take a lot of damage in here from Aether. You cannot resist the damage from the floor stuff, but these Aether Crystals, it all does Aether damage. A lot of the Ethereals do Aether damage. Those little tornadoes that'll chase you around and never stop, it's Aether damage. These flesh-warped whatevers, a lot of it's Aether damage. So make sure your Aether resistances are up there. If you have enough regeneration, you can actually stand in the Aether Fire and just not take damage. At this stage of the game, the chances of you having that sort of damage resistance and regeneration is pretty low. I came in here to check for an Exalted stash, and it's not here. So we're going to be on our way. So that was the other thing I was interested in here, and the third thing is obviously the Devotion Shrine, which is going to be sort of at the top in the middle, and you almost never get to go straight through the middle in here. You're always going to have to go around, which if you're chasing Aether Crystals is not a big deal, because, hey, more Aether Crystals, right? Just be careful of the Aether Crystals. I haven't run into any that are traps yet, but I will. In fact, I think this one is going to be a trap here. Nope, it's not. They do have a set look on the trap crystals. It's not the big ones. The big ones are never traps. It's always the little ones. They're a specific shape. And so if you're looking for that specific shape, and if you know what it is, obviously, then you'll find it. Alright. So just up here is going to be, this is a trap. That's the one. Yep, see, he's going to drag himself out of the ground. And then we're going to blow him up. So Act 3 boss returns as a generic mook. Right, here's our shrine. So let's go ahead and start this. It's a bunch of ethereals, no big deal. We just kill them. There we go. Adept's Boots, Bramblewood Amulet, +1 to all skills in Shaman. If we don't get a better Zarya's Amulet, that's what I'm going to wear. So we'll chuck that over there. The resistances on it are not amazing. The stats on it are also not amazing, but it's going to come down to what Zarya decides to drop. We actually don't need to go any further in this, so let's just bounce back to Homestead. I got what I was here for. There is, however, one more thing we need to go back in for. What was I doing next? Right, yellow. So I'm going to be getting the Tortoise and probably the Lotus next. And then after that, I'll probably get the Elemental Storm, I think. Alright, we've already killed all this stuff, so let's just run through here as quickly as we can. I'm trying to get to the end of this section this time. And this whole section actually is a good section to skip if you're worried about Aetherfire. This place can and probably will kill you if you don't respect it. So just keep that in mind. Same with this Aether Totem. There is a pretty good chance that if I click on this Aether Totem, I'm just going to die. My resistances are pretty good, so I'm going to risk it, but yeah, this one is usually pretty rippy. I'm going to turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. And I think I'm going to be okay here. But, yeah, definitely don't be too surprised if this totem kills you. Or if all the goop on the floor kills you, or like, this whole section is just very, very rippy. Okay, totem complete. Let's turn the loot back on. So we picked up a piece of the perdition set already. Don't think there's much here that I'm interested in. Potentially this one, just for the armor, honestly. Resistances on it are kind of pants, though. I think I'm going to pick all this up, but it's going to be to sell rather than to use. The perdition set is actually worth hanging on to. So, for example, this one, in 3 levels, I can wear this. This is pierce, poison resistance, and between 3 and 5% armor. And then if you get 2 pieces, so if I had the shoulders or the chest as well, I would absolutely wear them for that 10% bonus armor on the 2-set piece bonus. So hang on to these. They're pretty good for leveling, even if you're not playing Retaliation. Alright, moving on here. We're going to sneak in the top side this time, I think. If I can. So you can come in this way. Let's see if I can kill this through the wall. You can go away. Resistant of corrosion is not really amazing. I've got fire and lightning on the resistance roll. Alright, so we've killed this off. And now it's just a matter of getting full health and then zip zap all the way through here. You can take the safer route and go through here and around and through the barn. But you definitely don't have to. You can just full send it, come through this way. We're here for the boss, who's going to be right here. And we're also here for the shrine that you can see just behind me. Now this guy's a full 6 levels higher than I am, and it's just not going to matter. I think the reason they give it an extra 6 levels, I'm pretty sure, is to do with crit chance, or even just hit chance. If you have a good chance of missing, then you do less damage to it, so it lives longer. Alright, there we go. Dropped him like a bad habit. Let's pick this up and eat this. Next up on the kill list is going to be this totem. Nothing here is going to be particularly dangerous, I don't think. Oathbreaker's a shield? No, that's the gun. Okay. And we're done here. So, at this point, the other thing I could have done is I could have come straight down here, picked up the empty throne, and then 3 points in Elemental Storm. That's a really good option as well. I think, however, I want to get... Do I want the Lotus? I do want the Lotus. Let's just take the Lotus. Alright, free Exalted stash for coming up here. Dreadnought footpads, not horrible. Also kind of not amazing. And as long as you're here, you may as well get the cannons. Be careful if you click on them, you can end up standing in the goop while you're clicking on this. Alright, and that's a quest complete. I believe that may actually be the first time I've done that quest on the channel, because I pretty much universally recommend people to not go into that section. Because it's quite dangerous. Even this guy's amazed, somewhat confused why you would do something so silly. Okay, let's actually... I do want to check for gloves. Resistant of Heroism. That is a lot of armor. I think I want to hang on to those for a second. Renegades of Alacrity. These are also quite good in terms of rolls. Am I going to use the Dreadnought footpads? No. I think I will swap those over, though. There's nothing else there. This, the Blaze Herald here, this comes from the boss we just killed, the big Aether Pylon, which, I mean, if you wanted to do dual-wielding Aether damage, this might do it. So you've got bonuses there for Nightblade and Inquisitor, and then the proc as well. Not horrible, not for this build though. Alright, what else we got here? I think all this can go. +1 to Shaman in the helmet though. Ooh, that's hard. Chaos damage is useless. The energy regen would be very nice. I wouldn't be losing any armor by putting this on. I would lose 14% vitality resistance though. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Impervious of Thunder. Impervious is really good. That's going to be extra pierce resistance. And Thunder is obviously lightning damage, which we do. Potty humor there, I'm sure. Okay, that's fine. There we go. So, a little bit low on vitality. Aether and Chaos are both under control. Let's chuck a point of physique. We got 3 more points here. More Enraging Tempest. So this is just for the minus elemental resistances. Alright, and we will absolutely honor your dead. For sure. Okay, so this section of the game, if you didn't fat finger the button like I did, and you actually managed to be nice to Isaiah Redden, he will sell you various potions. Now you want to be checking for the Vitality potions, the Aether potions, and the Chaos potions, and the rest of them kind of don't matter. You can buy them if you want, they're fairly cheap, but definitely every time you go back to town, check his inventory, and if he has Aether, Chaos, or Vitality resistance potions, buy them. Because they will be very useful for this next little section. So I would save them for Darkvale Gate, rather than using them through the Bloodgrove. But they will be useful in the Bloodgrove as well. Now, I'm pretty sure I chose to side with Kaiman's idiots. So, yep. So they're not red. They would be attacking me if I hadn't sided with them. Okay. What must I do? I will gather the seals. Okay. So this one is to collect 3 chthonic seals, which means I actually need 6. Because, wait, 6? 4? I don't know. I need a pile of them. I definitely want to get a handful, because there is a devotion shrine coming up here, which requires, I think, 1. Then there's 3 for this quest, and I want to say there's 3 for something else. It's probably a component that I usually craft in this section. Most likely it's going to be a sanctified bone, but it's good to have nonetheless. The other thing to note about this level is we're getting close to the point where I want to farm a new weapon. So around about level 40, maybe a level or 2 before it, you're going to want to get a new weapon, and you just farm it exactly the same as you farmed this one. Except now you're going to be using it for a little bit longer. I think the next level we're looking at is going to be 55. So actually it's going to be about the same amount of time. 15 levels is less than 20, but it's also larger gaps between them, so it's going to be similar, let's say. So I will probably do a couple of runs and just take the best 1 out of 3 or something like that. There we go. Also, I am leveling another shaman alongside this one, and it's pure shaman until I get to later level, probably 100, but might give up before I get to that point. The plan is I'm going to do something else with him at level 100. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a vitality conversion version, or if I'm going to do cold conversion or a dual wielding version. I'm going to do some other kind of of Primal Strike build, just to kind of show two different types. But that character, I kind of rushed all the Homestead stuff, and he got to Zarya at level 30, which means he's currently farming for, you guessed it, of the Grove. And so far I think I've killed it 8 times on that character, and I'm already sick of it. Because the idea is you want to keep your level as low as you can to minimize the affix pool, which means I'm just running past everything, and it's just this really long run to get to where I need to be. So it's not fun. It's actually quite boring running from the Bloodgrove Rift. I think I may just give up and move on. Okay, we are about to get an upgrade here. And I say we are because I know it's going to happen. Because it's a vendor shop, or a vendor bought item. We actually can't farm this item because we chose to side with Kaiman's Chosen. If we had chose to side with the Death's Vigil, we could just kill Kaiman's idiots and they would be dropping these. However, just up here, the most open secret in the Grim Dawn world is Olvar here. Now he drops, or not drops, he sells all kinds of monster infrequent weapons that you may wish to use for various builds. He's even got some guns here. But he has Kaiman's Badge. Now Kaiman's Badge comes with a whole bunch of skill points for skills we aren't using. However, it also comes with Chaos Resistance as standard and Lightning Damage as standard. And those are things that I kind of do want. Consecrated of the Void, maybe? Can I lose 12% elemental resistance and be okay? Not really. Alright, I'm going to do a couple of resets here, so my apologies, it's going to be a little bit slow. But we can... let's go bank some stuff here. If I had one more of these dog tags for the Black Legion, I could turn that in and pretend like I was... pretend like that's why I was here. But I don't, so... we'll just pretend I was banking in order to cover the time. Alright. I think I'm just going to grab whatever's here, and I'll farm up a better one in between episodes. Shroud of Readiness! That's perfect. Alright. At this point, we're going to go back to Devil's Crossing, swap everything over. This is my last movement rune, so next time I swap, I'm going to have to go back to Forgotten Gods and buy new stuff. But that's fine. There we go. We'll keep the add-on here. Chuck that on there, chuck that on there, chuck that on there. And yep, you guessed it, we're going to chuck that on there as well. Okay, we'll head back out into the Bloodgrove. And we did just lose a lightning proc, which, not the end of the world. Alright, we do have to go back a little bit though, because I still need more Seals of Binding, which is fine. I mean, you can get those from lots of places around here. But we need one more dog tag, and I'm pretty sure they only spawn in this section of the Bloodgrove, so we're going to backtrack a little bit. Did I see a totem over this way? I can't remember. There's our last... I didn't see the totem. There's our last insignia. Now, you can absolutely farm 15 of these, or 10 of these if you're going to skip Elite, and then you won't have to get them in Elite or Ultimate. I don't particularly care enough to really do that, so I'm going to call this done, and we're going to move on to the other side of the Bloodgrove, which is, I think, Graver's Mill? Yeah, Graver's Mill. So we're going to go clear the mill, because the Black Legion could totally do it themselves, but they just don't want to. So they're sending us. Which, honestly, is fine. Shroud of Protection... same armor, slightly way worse resist. I can stay on the floor. Right, the good thing about this section is, one, it's a quest we need to do, But also, this place is full, absolutely full of these Bloodsworn idiots. And so we can get lots of seals from them. At least in theory. In practice, yeah, it sometimes doesn't work out that way. Okay. So at this point, Mogdragon's Pact is really good to get, but I'm thinking Stormcaller's Pact here. The other thing I could do is points in Storm Surge. This is going to be more lightning damage, more electrocute damage, and technically bleeding damage, but I mean, really, who cares about the bleeding damage? Don't put any more points in Wind Devil. If you put more in there, it just increases the tiny amount of actual damage they do. Wind Devils exist to provide the slow and minus 30% elemental resistance, and that's it. We will get this up to probably 4 or 5 points just from plus skills. Same with Maelstrom here. For now, let's head for Stormcaller's Pact. Alright, here's the mill. We're going to clear out all of the Harbingers, all of the little... What are they called? Squigs? No, they're not squigs. Squig-likes. I'm going to clear out the mill. Put it that way. There we go. It's done. I only just started talking about it. It's already finished. Super efficient. I'm a little bit disappointed in the totem spawns today. They have not been cooperative at all. I've been to several locations where they could be, and they haven't been there, so I'm a little bit upset. I do see one on the map there, which is good. But really, we should have already had 4? 3 or 4? It's alright though. We'll take this one. I also don't really need to use any of the Void Touch totems, the MIs from the monsters that they spawn. I don't need any of them for this build, so I'm not terribly worried about it. However, I do like loot, I do like XP, and these things drop a decent amount of blue items. They're actually better for dropping blue items than even the Shattered Realm is, based on my testing. So we've got the Devil's Grin here, which is a shield, so we're never using that. The Elixir of the Void is damage, which is not what I wanted. Are these better? Oswald's Flame is fire retaliation. Bloodbound Ointment, what is that? There's a Chaos Resistance. 1 Seal of Binding and a Riftstone, which is going to be like 4 Aether Crystals or something. However, we've got plenty of Chaos Resistance now, so I don't actually need this one. I wouldn't mind getting the Vitality one. Nah, it's probably fine. Okay, I don't think any of this is particularly interesting, unless I missed something obvious, which I definitely could have. Alright, and there could have been a totem there as well, but not today. Which means my totem was behind the waterfall, and I'm not running down there to get one totem. Alright, things to note about the Darkvale Village. This is the first place that I lost my... Well, this is the place where I lost my first hardcore character that got to level 30, because Zarya, specifically the crystals she summoned, do an absolute boatload, shedload, a truckload. For those of you who don't speak Aussie slang, that just means a lot. They do a lot of damage. And the only way to survive them is either to, 1, kill them before they kill you, or to have a ton of chaos resistance. And the best approach is to do both. Because if you accidentally don't kill them, then it's better to have the resistances than to not have them. There's one of my Seals of Binding. I think I banked some as well, so I may actually be done here, but we shall see. I think the next quest was to kill... what's that guy's name? I had his amulet. I think I sold it. Anyway, the next quest was to kill him, I'm pretty sure, and he's already dead, so I shouldn't have to backtrack. One thing I do love about the Village of Darkvale is this dynamite here can often be turned around and used in a treasure trove that spawns right here. Now, obviously, it's not there this time. That's fine. I know where all of the spawn points are. One of which is in this house right here. So not here either. The next one is not this house, but the next one over. So Zarya's journal. Here we go. Could have been right here. It's not, which means it's in the last place it can be, which is going to be in the bottom left house right here. So there it is. There's my treasure trove. Give me something nice, please. A shield, really? And a cold shield? Okay, alright. Someone thinks they're being funny. That's alright, I understand. This is the same character who got the Mogara's Fangs of the Grove on the very first try. Alright, I see how it is. Don't let me forget this one, you guys. I often walk straight past this and then wonder why I'm missing a devotion point. If you could remind me after I kill Zarya that I need to get this, that'd be great. So, thanks. Okay, speaking of Zarya, she's just here. And Chaos Resistance is maxed. I'm just going to go kill her. But if your Chaos Resistance is not maxed, then you may want to make sure when she summons her two little crystals, like just there, you make sure you kill them. Okay, Seers of Mending, that'll do me. Do we actually get any resistances on that? 16% vitality, that's not great. That's not great at all. Alright, well, +3 to Mogdrogan's Pact is pretty good on there. The pet stuff is completely worthless. But, I mean, more regeneration, which is nice. Okay, and we got her journal part 2. Okay, and thank you for reminding me not to leave this behind. There we go, there's 2 pieces of perdition. So at level 40, I've got these 2. I think I will try and use these. We'll have to see how we go for resistances, but if I can use them, I definitely will. Turin's Step is... I'll pick them up, I'll probably sell them. They have Fizz Res on them? They don't. Okay, let's think about this for a second. How many insignias do I have? I have 3, which means I think... Sorry, I have 2 of 3. Which means I think I'm done, because I'm pretty sure I banked 1 or 2. So let's just have a quick look at that. Banked 1, which means actually I'm done for that particular quest. Let's just get rid of all this stuff. There we go, and we've got your dog tag thingies. And we've got your lumber mill. And we've got whatever it was we sent. Okay, that was the villages, that's right. Okay, and now we get to kill Karoz, which is lovely. But before we do that, we will be heading to Sorrow's Bastion and speaking to the leaders of the Kaiman's Chosen. I think I've got 2, maybe 3 quests to turn in here. I think it's only 2 though. I think the third one is going to be go get the ashes, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. I don't do this quest line very often, so what does Kaiman require? What must be done? Already dealt with Bolvar. What must be done? Oh, Ravok, it's the old mate in the castle. Okay, that's fine, we can do that. 1, 2, 3 in the bar, and 1 in the physique. 1 more level, we actually get some fun toys. 42 on that one. So we're going to end up using the Bramblewood Amulet for a little while. Which is... it's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, don't worry about it. Okay, so back to the Blood Grove, and we are heading northeast. Just follow the road. That's a pretty nice scepter. Gonna leave it on the floor though. Alright, so the road up to the castle is covered in ethereals and cult members, and everybody's fighting everybody, and oh look, there's a mine, and it's full of aethic fire and crystals and stuff, and I like crystals. Let's bash the crystals. You know what? I'm gonna actually go through the mine here, and this is another area where you really want to know where you're getting off of the green stuff before you get on it. So if you don't know that there's a safe area up ahead, don't go on the green stuff. Although, I mean, like I said before, I'm not your dad, you do what you like. But that's how I've survived. Mostly. Mostly survived for this long. Just always have a plan. There we go, picking up dynamite, picking up aether crystals, lovely stuff. I don't know if I'm going to walk out of here or if I'm going to teleport out. I'll probably teleport out to the Bloodgrove Rift once I've got my aether crystals. So I do often say that there's no such thing as enough aether crystals, and, you know, you can't call me a hypocrite, at least not for that, because I'd definitely go out of my way to get them. Although I could have been farming these as well. Alright, let's kill the big golem dude, why not? And I definitely want this free dynamite. Speaking of the big golem dude, where is he? There he is. Venarius, the backbiter. Should go down pretty quickly. Yep, that's a nice sunder. Real shame if you just didn't do any damage while it was active. He just did the animation for the sunder and then didn't sunder me. Interesting. Alright, we're done here. This is again another area you can skip. That is entirely optional. However, I mean, 15 aether crystals. It's hard to say no to 15 aether crystals. And no shards and no clusters, unfortunately. Alright, we're going to kill Ravok, and I think we'll probably kill Karos today as well. We'll see how we can do for time running through here. This little section here can be quite quick if you're not just holding left click and murdering everybody on the way in. It does seem like, however, that I am holding left click and murdering everybody on the way in, so it might take a little while longer. There is something very satisfying about filling the screen with lightning like this. I definitely approve. Let me pick those up. Alright. So the guy we're here to kill is Master Ravok. He's got a really nice helmet if you're doing any kind of cold build. Someone was mentioning in the comments a couple of videos ago that they would like to see a Cold Reaper. I'm not going to say no, but I'm also definitely not planning on doing it right now. But if I was, I would probably be using this guy's helmet. Although it does kind of look like it's his face, but we won't go into that. But yeah, if I was doing a cold, dual-wielding Cold Reaper, I would definitely be looking at Ravok's helmet and wondering how I can join Hyman's Chosen's as a Reaper. And obviously I know the answer is you join before you choose Necromancer, but, you know, it's rhetorical. Alright, Ravok's going down pretty quickly. There's his helmet. So as you can see there, oh, it actually doesn't have other cold stuff. I was actually looking at this because I was considering making this as a kind of extra thing, but I remember this having cold bonuses rather than bone harvest bonuses. Though having said that, those are very nice bone harvest bonuses. Anyway, yep, I'm done here, so back to Sora's Bastion. We'll turn this one in. The next quest should be to get the ashes. Hope. Like I said, I don't do this quest line very often, so I know what quests there are, but I'm a little bit iffy on the order. Slain the Necromancer, and I will speak to Brother Minarok, was it? Sure, why not? Actually, what were those gloves? Suddenly I don't care so much. There are... Where are we? We'll recover the ashes. Yeah, it is the ashes. There are lore notes pretty much all over the place, so make sure you pick them up. It's free XP. Alright, don't think... Didn't want to click on you. I don't think we're going to need much from the Kaiman shop. They do have some elemental stuff, but it's mostly... actually, it's fire and lightning, so it could be really good. But we don't have the reputation for it yet. Okay, we are up to the part where we kill Karos. And my resistances are what I'm going to call fine. So we're just going to go in and kill him. Ordinarily, I'd be looking at making potions for various different types of resistances. I'd be worried about maybe I get some royal jelly. No, we're not doing that. We're just going to go kill him after I come down here and grab the secret chest. Which, in a surprise for nobody, has no good loot in it. But yeah, we're just going to come through here. We're going to murder everybody. It's going to be easy because Primal Strike is a little bit silly. Actually, let's take a little bit of a detour. I've got time. We can do a couple of runs through Osea, and see if I can't get a Skyfallen level 40 Storm Halberd. Nope. Nope. This guy's going to be a statue. Oh, he's not a statue. May as well have been. Okay. No dice, no dice, no dice. This one over here never stands up, so we ignore him. This guy's already a statue, we ignore him. That one's blocked. Alright, any of you laying down on the job? Doesn't look like it. Okay, okay. That's fine. When you do come in here, make sure your elemental resistances are capped. This place at higher levels is not messing around. There is a lot of elemental damage in here, and they will shred your resistances as well, so just make sure they're capped, and even over-capped if you can. I say they will shred your resistances. I don't actually know that's true anymore, but I'm going to say it is, and just act like I'm right. Oh, here we go. There's two. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. Charged of alacrity. And, well, that one just go back on the floor, honestly. Alright, let's just make sure that was a level 40 one. Charged of alacrity, level 40. Yep, looks pretty good. I don't know why that's saying it's less DPS. I think because it doesn't account for... Oh, I know why. It's missing 4 skill levels. Alright, we're here. We may as well continue. And just make sure we got all of the potential ones here. I think there's a couple here. That's fine. Yep, yep, yep. Do I need to do you? Nope, already restored that. What about you? You're fire. It's no good. And what about you? You're fire as well. Okay. We're done here, so let's just bounce back up here to Darkvale Gate. And if you notice my health bar there, it was barely even moving, which is what I want to see. I want to see my health bar barely even budging while I'm ignoring a huge pack of monsters and finding the rift I want to teleport out to. Although having said that, you do want to be careful with builds like this. I've mentioned this, I think, before, but it's very easy to get complacent and think you're completely invincible. You definitely are not. You can die. It's just a matter of finding the thing that'll kill you and being complacent while it does it. Alright, I think I'm going to farm up another weapon in between this episode and the next one. I may also go hit Golas a few more times, because I definitely need some better rings. The ones I have at the moment have almost nothing for resistances, and I usually fix my resistances with my rings. So I want more of those, or I want better rings. Let's go in here and grab the secret hidden stash of rubbish loot. And then take out our frustration on all these glowy pink boys. Alright, so Karoz. Karoz is a little bit dangerous. Actually, he's quite dangerous. I might even say he's the second most dangerous boss in the base game. Maybe even the most dangerous, because you can't run away from him. Or you can, but he'll follow you. Whereas the Logorian is kind of stuck on a wall and he can't follow you. So yeah, I think I'm happy to say that he's probably the most dangerous boss in the game, or in the base game. I'm probably misremembering something. Not remembering, rather. Jesus, words today. But he's very dangerous, let's just say that. I withdraw my statement that he's the hardest boss in the game. But he is very difficult. Especially if you don't have maxed out Chaos and also maxed out lightning, or not lightning, vitality resistances. He is going to hit very, very hard. Potentially one-shotting you, so just make sure your resistances are under control. I don't want any of that rubbish. I kind of need it just for the money, so I'll pick it up. There we go, that'll do. Alright, and just over here on the left is another little secret area that I almost never go into. This place is just absolutely full of loot in the walls. Is this one of the double ones? No, it's not. Alright, cool. I see you there. Whatever your name is. I'm not even going to try and say that today. Little red fire Pokemon. You gotta go. Hilnraz. I lied. I did say it. There we go. These little side areas, you can completely ignore these. And just go straight in and kill Karoz, which is what I'm going to do. Now, because my resistances are capped, because my weapon is actually quite good, even being like 20 levels out of date, I am not expecting this to have any amount of challenge at all. Especially because Primal Strike is a ridiculously huge AoE that does giga damage. We're pretty much just going to murder everything. It's not even going to be close. However, if you, for some reason, are not doing giga damage and massive AoE and all the rest of that, when he puts his crystals up, run. When he puts his little tentacle things in the floor, run. Or kill the crystals, but honestly, I mean, just hold left click and he dies. Alright, once he is dead, make sure you grab his chest, and make sure you head out the back door, and definitely, definitely, definitely wish this was a Gollus ring. Harmonious of Mending. Definitely, 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 definitely head out the door here and grab the rift, because otherwise you have to do the entire castle again. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's more XP, right? I'm only level 39. Could do with more levels, why not? Oh, I thought you were dead. Let me fix that. There we go. Alrighty, so here is the rift, and this is going to be the end of this episode, so I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. See you in the next one, and goodbye for now.